quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you? I'm...
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the interview series we have for you here at Nerdculture. I am your host, Ryan, and our guest this week is actress and producer, superstar, Laura Liguori. She is joining us now. Laura, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for being with us. We do appreciate it. Now, as we go throughout the course of this show, if you are watching us live and if you have questions for our guest, Laura Liguori, please drop them in the live chat. I will be monitoring that as we go throughout the course of the show, so please be aware of that. In the meantime, let's just dive right into this here, Laura. First things first, what were some of your favorite movies or TV series when you were growing up?
Well, I grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, and growing up, I watched a lot of I Love Lucy, which explains my need to do practical jokes all the time. And once I got into the theater, I really started getting into more independent film, and I used to go to this movie theater called Camel View 5 in Scottsdale and watch, I remember I watched The Red Violin. It was a beautiful film, and Ponette, a French film, and I got into foreign films. A favorite American film was Rudy. That was huge for me. My college essays were about Rudy. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, a lot of us grew up watching that movie with Sean Astin, who was a Jon Favreau and company. So good pick. No worries here about Rudy, one of the more bigger and more classic sports films that has been made. So good choice there. No worries about that. Now, when exactly did you decide? What was your aha moment when you decided that you wanted to become an actress?
I didn't really have. I don't feel like I decided to become it. It was more like a recognition almost that I was an actor. And I was a freshman in high school. I was performing a monologue from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. I was playing Juliet. And what happened is I had this intense emotional experience inside. And I really kind of became this role. And it wasn't necessarily that really clicked. It was the response of my classmates. When I was finished, they were in tears and moved. And it was that really made me recognize that, oh, okay, this is my purpose, or my desire to want to tell stories and make people feel things. So. Wow.
Truly incredible story, and thank you for sharing that with us. Now, according to your IMDb page that we've had the opportunity to look at, what was it like guest starring on the CBS series known as Shark back in the year 2007? It says that you were one of the jurors during the course of a trial in that series, and that was a series that stars the legendary James Woods. Any thoughts or stories about that?
Yeah, I have a big story on that. So I actually was trying to get my SAG card, and I was a background actor in it. And I was just hoping upon hope that, somehow, you get like a voucher or something. As a background actor, you need 3 vouchers to get into the union. It's a very difficult process to go through. And what happened is a light, I got hit on my head randomly by a stage light, and I passed out. I fainted. And when I came to, you know, I was in, I went to the hospital and everything, and I had a concussion. And the director and, you know, producers were there, and everybody was kind of freaking out. And they were like, what can we do? You know? And I said, my SAG card. I do my SAG card. So they were like, done, you know? So I was fine. And so I worked for 2 weeks on the show, and that's how I got my SAG card.
My goodness, that is certainly one way to get your respective SAG card. Did you have a chance to speak with, just out of curiosity, did you have a chance to speak with any of the cast members or James Woods himself?
Yeah. So James, he was fun to work with. At one point, I remember he got up and just like came over to me and asked me if I wanted to waltz dance. And you know, I was like, okay. So, you know, it was kind of wild. But yeah, it was good. It was good. It was interesting to work with him.
Oh my goodness. Now I remember watching that series when it was originally airing on CBS at the time. It was 2 seasons of Shark, and I must say that is one of the most underrated legal dramas I've ever seen. That show is so good, and James Woods and the rest of the cast and the people who worked on the show and the crew just did a phenomenal job. It moves so quick, and James Woods and his talent is just razor sharp. I mean, he really is the guy really is a shark in some way, shape, or form. He just played that character, and he went full bore, and I loved every single minute of it, especially when he got into arguments with Jerry Ryan's character, who was the DA at the time. That's wild. So I'm glad you had an opportunity to be on that series, because I have Shark Season 1 on DVD. They never released Season 2 on DVD, which I don't understand why they didn't do that. If that ever happens, I want to add that last season to my set, ladies and gentlemen. I love Shark to pieces. So please, throw me a bone here. Just saying. I will say. But congrats on working on Shark. That's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, what would you say you potentially enjoy more, working in front or behind the camera?
Well, definitely in front. But that being said, I like to work as a team, and I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty and do what I need to do. If anybody needs anything on set, you know, if I can be of service, you know, I'm there. As a producer on Hollywood Girl, the Peg Entwistle Story, that was, it was challenging, and it was, you know, the first time I ever, you know, produced anything. So I learned a lot. But you know, I like being in front of the camera or on stage. Producing is very important. It's very difficult, and of great value. Just, you know, preference wise, you know, artistic wise, I prefer, front center.
All good, no worries there. Now, before we move into our next question, we have this to share with you at home. Take a look.
What was it you promised your old man?
Never give up. Do something they'll never forget. I'm afraid I am a coward. I'm sorry for everything.
Peg,
This is my
you'll
moment.
be missed.
If I had done this a long time ago,
A true movie-land tragedy.
it would have saved a lot of pain.
Peg Entwistle, known for her spectacular Broadway performances and a promising movie career, is gone.
They'll never forget this.
Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Now I've had an opportunity to sit down and watch this movie, but I would like to hear it from you. How did Hollywood Girl, the Peg Entwistle Story come together?
Well, Peg Entwistle is known for haunting the Hollywood sign. And that's a story that I was familiar with. And what happened is I was living in a building at Hollywood and Vine at the time, and I was up for 2 roles. And both of the roles I got very close to getting, and then they went a different way with the name actor. And so I went to the roof of the building that I was living in, and I was looking up at the Hollywood sign, and you know, I was really sad, and I thought about Peg, and I thought about how no one had ever done anything on her before. So I had just finished working on a film called Love, Lust, and a Room Key, and I really love James Palmacher and his wife Veronica Braga, and so I thought, you know what? Why don't I just pitch them the idea to do something on her, maybe the last day of her life, and you know, bring some attention to her actual story, not that she's just known as this ghost, because Peg Entwistle was a very successful actress. She did 10 Broadway shows. She was leading up to her suicide cut from 13 Women because she was playing a lesbian. And at the time in 1932, the producers didn't think that was appropriate to screen. So they cut her out, and RKO Pictures were very disrespectful in regards to how they treated her. So once we started doing research, James and I, and getting more into the actual details, you know, it was really, the film kind of formed and came together, from the money to, we were very blessed to be able to do all of our green screen suicide jump shots in the LA Opera. Casting wise, we never even had to hold auditions. We were able to just put out offers to the actors that we wanted, and that all came through. And it was really a great experience getting to make the film.
All right, and it is a really good film indeed, and it's a story that myself I wasn't familiar with. I've heard about certain stories here and there about some tragedies that have happened in Hollywood and the behind-the-scenes stuff that went on, but Peg and Twistle's story, I had not heard about it up to that point. So it's great to have the chance to see that film and have a spotlight on that person and that unfortunate situation that occurred during that period of time. Now, James Palmacher, we had an opportunity to sit down and talk with him earlier this week, and he brought something up, and I was wondering, I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. He mentioned something about you having an encounter with a poltergeist of some sort, or a ghost, or some sort of situation that went on at your residence. Would you mind telling us what exactly happened with this poltergeist?
Well, I don't know if it's a poltergeist. It was.
I mean, that's how James put it.
Okay, so what happened, which was odd, is while we were filming, at that point, the suicide scene in my apartment. So I was on the 10th floor. So we're still at Hollywood and Vine, 10th floor. Mm-hmm. I woke up and there was a red balloon in the apartment. And I thought that was really weird. Now, I did live at Hollywood and Vine. And, there's plenty of action going on, and a balloon, could have just somehow blown in. But it was weird. And the other weird part about it was that all of the appliances, the dishwasher, the washer and dryer, the refrigerator, everything broke. So it was like the weirdest morning. There was a red balloon, and all the appliances had there were mechanical issues with all of them. So it was really weird. I had to bring in somebody to come and look at all of this and try and fix it. And the guy who came, it was very weird. He was an Israeli man who was also some kind of spiritual leader or spiritual guide. And he immediately said, you have a spirit in your apartment, and they want you to recognize them and they want to be heard. And I just got the shivers all over, because I was like, that's really weird you said that, because this balloon is here. And so anyway, you know, I staged the apartment, and, you know, I don't know, you know, what that was all about. But I do know that also we had an instance in the film where when we were doing the theater scene, we were filming in the theater, there was a actual woman's voice that came through, and I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was something like, don't go in there, or something like that. And so there were aspects of things that were odd that went on during the shooting of the film.
Oh my goodness. Strange occurrences, maybe potential hauntings somewhere in the Hollywood and Vine area. Gee willikers.
Yeah.
Have to be careful if I ever visit that area.
Yeah.
Maybe I should bring my ghost meter with me, like they used in Ghostbusters. I'm not sure what the name of that device was that Egon was carrying around. I'd have to do some digging on our good friends on Google or Wikipedia. But even so. Now, by the way, for those of you who are just joining us, thank you for being with us today. If you have any questions for our guest, Laura Liguori, please drop it in the comments section / the live chat. We'll be monitoring that as we go throughout the course of the show. As we continue on here, are there any actors or directors that you hope to work with in the future?
In the future? Yeah. You know, for me, it's not about, I don't really get starstruck. It's really about, first, the script and the world that the writer has created and how I fit into the world, or if I feel drawn into the world. At that point, you know, I'd love to work with anyone with, you know, that has that same artistic vision. But, you know, I'm a big Daniel Day-Lewis fan. Who wouldn't want to be in a Tarantino film? Woody Allen. I mean, you know, I have, you know, of course, all of those guys. Lars von Trier. I mean, you know, I like big drama in the sense of, you know, that really intense work. And then comedy-wise, you know, I really like, you know, darker comedy, but also like Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm a huge fan. Love improv. Those like awkward, weird moments. So, you know, at this point with the pandemic, I really just look forward to working. This is the longest I've ever gone in my life since I was 16 without work. So I really, you know, just am really excited for this all to end, you know, fingers crossed here, and, you know, get back to work.
Absolutely. We do hope that Earth reopens safely sooner rather than later. So many other things that not just you, but everyone else, I'm sure, wants to do and continue to do, and to get back on their feet in some way, shape, or form. I completely understand that. 100%. No question about it. Now, what would you say have been some of the rewards or challenges of working in the film industry?
Rewards are, it's an adventure. You know, it's the path of an actor is not an easy path, but it's such an adventure. And, you know, you like I said earlier, it's like I recognized and realized I was an actor. And once I realized that, I knew, you know, that the path is not going to be easy, but it's so rewarding in so many ways to be able to have purpose in life and connection to work. So in that regard, I wouldn't change anything. The challenges are that, you know, the rejection aspect of it can be rough. Also, you know, getting very close to what you want and getting put on a veil and then not getting it. You know, there's so many times where it's, you know, even during the pandemic, an example is I randomly got a national commercial audition and I got put on a veil for it. And, you know, in those 3 days of being on a veil, I'm like thinking this will be so great. You know, here's some good money coming my way. And, you know, you get all excited and then boom, it's, you know, it disappears. So that can be difficult. Also, another challenge I experienced is, you know, reviews. You know, when you put your work out there, you want people to love it naturally, and sometimes they don't. So reviews can be tough. And it's really about not getting swayed in one way or the other. It's just like staying very grounded and taking care of yourself and, you know, having faith that when one door closes, another one opens, and the right one opens. So.
And I've heard that expression, or I've heard that saying before, if one door closes, another one opens. I had a few similar experiences of that during my high school years when I was doing the high school drama program at the time. So that helped me a lot. You know, if something didn't go my way or something, I was feeling a little dismayed about something else would come up. I'm like, oh, man, that'd have been the exact door that I may have wanted to walk through, but it's there. So
yeah.
Just get the experience. Why the heck not?
Right.
So that always works. And just to have a little bit of fun here, what would you do if you were invisible for a day?
Wow. You mean if I was a ghost?
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a ghost, but, you know, if you had that opportunity, what would you do if you were invisible for a day? What would you end up doing?
If I was invisible for a day, I mean, you know, I don't know. To be honest with you, I just want to be the opposite of invisible right now. I'd want to be seen because I've been in isolation so long. Sometimes I feel like, what am I? I am invisible. If I was invisible, I think I would just like to observe. I would just like to go out and observe human behavior.
All right. People watching, as it
were. Yeah.
All right. I can. And by the way, yeah, I know the situation with the pandemic. Everyone wants to be seen and be around their loved ones, and their friends, and their families, their neighbors, and coworkers, and all that jazz. But just hypothetically, if you were in a perfect world and we didn't have this pandemic going on, that's kind of where I was leaning with that question. But that's okay, because fair response. No worries whatsoever. So what would you say is maybe the funniest, maybe most disappointing, or even weirdest text message you've ever received?
Wow. I could get political here because I've been getting a lot of weird political text messages, but I won't. I recently have gotten a text message it was obviously a guy was reaching out to somebody else named Laura. But that person and I had dated years ago, and they reached out to me and texted me this very bizarre text message regarding, you know, meeting up. And for a second I was like, are they talking? Like, this is so random. Like, they want to meet up with me. And then I thought, this is so weird. I haven't heard from them in years. What, you know, but I thought maybe the pandemic was making them, you know, crazy. But then the next text message came in about the other Laura's cat and how they missed the cat. And I was like, oh, okay, obviously wrong. You know, it's a mistake.
Someone and the cat.
Yeah, I don't have a cat. I have a 3-legged dog, so it wasn't me.
Oh, a three-legged dog. What's its name?
Nala.
Do I sense a Lion King reference in there?
Yes, yes. She was named after Simba's girlfriend, Nala, and she is a Shar-Pei Chow Ridgeback mix. So she has all the wrinkles. She's very cute. And she's 10 years old, but she's survived cancer. She had 2 knee operations, 2 new knees. She did lose her leg, so now she's 3-legged, but she's great. She's like a powerhouse. She's a total warrior. So, you know, I'm very blessed to have her.
Oh, that's so sweet, and I'm glad, you know, despite all the health complications and all that stuff, they're still going. So that's wonderful. Now has Nala seen her own movie? Has she seen Lion King?
No, her favorite movie is Karate Kid, actually, which is totally weird. But when I leave for the day or I have to go somewhere, I will put that on for her. So she, you know, but maybe we'll try Lion King and see how that goes.
Solid pick with the way the popularity of Cobra Kai is just skyrocketing. Almost everywhere I look, people are saying it's this, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. It's great to see these characters once again. I haven't seen Cobra Kai myself, but I finally caught up. I saw the original Karate Kid a few years ago, loved it so much, bought it on Blu-ray sometime later. Then I saw Karate Kid Part 2, and then I eventually saw Parts 3, and the next Karate Kid. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a 4th one. It's called The Next Karate Kid, and it stars Hilary Swank. Yes, I'm not making this up. I've seen all 4 movies. I just haven't seen the show yet, but it is on my to-do list, as it were. Hopefully I get a chance to see it sooner rather than later, because strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Just saying. Cobra Kai never dies. That's what they like to keep telling us on the interwebs. Just throwing it out there. Now, what is, just out of curiosity, what is something that people are obsessed with, but you just don't get the point of it?
Money.
Oh. Just out of curiosity, why? Just out of curiosity, why money? Why would you say it? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, money is important.
Yeah.
But people who are obsessed with money, I just don't get it. Because it brings the opposite of joy, and it brings so much complications, and it doesn't satisfy a person's like real need inside for purpose, connection, value, you know, joy. And I know a lot of people who are obsessed with money, and none of those people are happy people. So I don't get it, but.
So in a way, I guess it's fair to say that you don't agree with these 2 sayings, as in Michael Douglas, greed, for lack of a better word, is good. And then another character says, money doesn't buy happiness.
It's so true. And it's so obvious. I mean, we see it everywhere, you know, it doesn't.
All right. There you go. Cautionary tale about having too much moolah in thy bank account. There you go. So as we kind of wrap things up here, any upcoming projects you can tell us about?
Well, before the pandemic, I was cast and just beginning rehearsals for a play called Joe and Betty by Murray Mednick, which was to open in Los Angeles. So that would have probably been last May. So once theaters open, I will revisit that. And I also have a film called Hello Say. It's a art house film. It's going through festivals right now. It's done really well. But eventually I'm sure that'll become public and go on YouTube or Amazon or something. And, you know, fingers crossed, man, some good work comes my way.
Absolutely, absolutely. 2020 has been a struggle enough. Let's hope that 2021 is a much bigger and better year than this year was, with the situation with the pandemic and everything else in this crazy world that we're currently and almost have always lived in, because it's a crazy mixed world we live in, folks. It just is. But aside from that, we do want to take this opportunity to thank Laura Liguori, star of Hollywood Girl, the Peg Entwistle Story. Now, Laura, where can everyone follow you on social media and everything you have coming up?
I have a website, lauraliguori.com, and I'm on Facebook, Laura Liguori, and Instagram is Liguori.Laura. I had to look at that.
It's okay. No worries at all. No worries at all. But once again, we want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for watching us, and for those of you who have been liking, commenting, sharing this video. Don't forget, you can catch me. My name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. Catch everything we're doing here on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at It's Nerd Culture. New videos are dropping every week. So make sure you check out our YouTube channel, and feel free to listen to my podcast. It's called The Nerdcast, where I talk about movies past and what lack there may be of the present, because of pandemics. So feel free to check that out. You can find it on Anchor, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you download your podcasts. You can find us there. In the meantime, definitely check out Hollywood Girl, the Peg Entwistle Story. It's available on Amazon, YouTube, and other streaming platforms, so check it out. It is a wonderful film made by an amazing team of individuals. So in the meantime, stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe, and watch movies.